YouTube, how's it going? I can't lie, I don't feel great. I felt shit yesterday. I apologise for yesterday. But day 9, we've got 11 days till Christmas. So I feel like it's okay to wear the old Santa hat. Keep my head warm. So yeah, this video, guys, it's going to be a little bit different. I took inspiration from a different area. Now, normally I would approach a video, I come up with the idea in my head and I'll make the video, or it's a product that I've purchased for myself and I want to tell you whether it's any good or not, so that you know whether to buy it or not, or at least have some more information on that particular product. That's what I try and do. But this time I was on my channel, I was doing something on the channel, and then I was in the video section and I just clicked the inspiration. Now, normally YouTube inspiration section, normally I wouldn't take any sort of it. I have a look at it and it always tells me to do something that is either not financially plausible. It's usually like build a system with a particular set of hardware that I don't have, or build a system to hit a certain budget. And like, I would love to have like 700 quid to just go out and build a 700 quid, buy a 700 quid rig and show you how I did it. I would love to be able to do that, but at this precise moment, not financially viable. I'm a single dad and I've got 2 kids and it's Christmas around the corner. So normally, YouTube inspiration, although I'm sure it's fine for anyone that's got like unlimited cash flow or have got a much further along channel or whatever the weather, I'm sure it helps them out massively. But in general, most of the time, it doesn't really help me out any way at all. But this time I clicked on it and literally the first couple of things up were 5700X 3D. Is it the sleeper king for gaming? And the next one was 5700X 3D. Is it the perfect answer for gaming on a budget? And I looked at him and I just thought, do you know what? I could probably throw my two pence worth in here, Jay, or 2 cents in it, Jay. I could probably throw my opinion into this particular hole. So what I did is I just wanted to have a quick double sanity check on pricing. Now, CEX, which is the best place to buy used products in the UK, purely because it comes with a 5-year warranty. It like literally eradicates the bit of the buying a used product that a lot of people are sketchy about. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're into buying used products, you can definitely get things cheaper most of the time. This particular item, funnily enough, I'd say with it being priced here at 250 quid, if this comes into stock, it will be the cheapest place to buy a 5700X 3D in the country, because everywhere else, when I searched it and I had a look, everywhere else was literally coming up as like between 300 and 450 quid. Like no cap on that. Like just bring it up here. That's a 70. It says 5700X 3D, but it's not. It's a 77. See, there's one there at 287. I've seen a couple at 290, 287, 285, 290, but then almost all the others are 442, 390, 395, 295. So but a lot of them are like 300 to 400. There's been dips to 290, and yes, CEX does list it for 250 quid, but I can guarantee that price would change if they actually had stock, because their prices do fluctuate with the market. So I'm gonna say comfortably 350 quid you would be buying. Now, you could come at me, and a lot of AMD fanboys will do, well, if I'm already on AM4, then I've already got everything else. So I might be paying 350 quid for the CPU, but that doesn't matter because I don't need anything else. And like at this precise moment with the VRAM crisis going on, I would just like to point out I do not think that anyone in the commercial market should be buying RAM right now. We should just all wait until AI's had its fill, because the price ain't going to come down until they stop paying stupid prices for it. So we don't have a choice. Now, if you really have to build something, it needs to happen, it must happen, then I apologize. But there are definitely ways round the VRAM crisis. Maybe we'll look at that. The RAM crisis, maybe we'll look at that in near future. Certainly in the UK, I could probably help you out a little bit. But saying that, so we're going to say about 350 quid, because like I said, 250 there. It is priced at 250 in here, but I can guarantee that price will change as soon as it's off the market, you know? Like, that is generally the price that I see them for, between 300 and 400 quid. So I'm going to say 350 to be fair. Like I said, there are some outliers, but in general, I'm seeing them at like 300 to 400 quid. Firstly, if you are someone who likes to buy things new, you're not going to find a 5700X 3D. But on the used market, like I said, you're looking at around 300 to 400 quid. There are some outliers that are a little lower than that, like 280, 290, and obviously when they're not, the CEX with it out of stock for 250 quid, you can maybe argue that that's the price really. Well, it's not though, is it? So I'm going to say 350 quid. So at 350 quid, right? Yes, you're going to get a big boost in gaming performance. Of course you are. And at this precise moment with the RAM crisis, if you're the sort of person that's already on AM4, obviously it looks like a cracking deal. Like, I mean, why would it not look like a cracking deal? Even at 350 quid, you're not actually having to change anything else in your system, which is cool. That's good. But I'm just going to point out that for 350 quid, you can get far better performance and everything else in your system will work with it. Let me point out, for example, right? I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, right? If the RAM crisis was not happening, I would tell you, no, do not buy the 5700X 3D, because for the price you would pay for that CPU, you could probably buy a 7700X and a B850 motherboard and just be on AM5. I would probably just tell you, just save up another, because 3 months ago I would have told you to save up another 150 quid for some DDR5 and then just be on your way. Like, don't put 350 quid into a CPU for a dead platform. Just don't do it. That would be my point on that point, because at that point, obviously, stepping up to AM5 would be a much better idea. So if it wasn't for the DRAM crisis, I would literally be saying, don't bother. Don't get a 5700X 3D. Just save yourself up another 150 quid for some DDR5 and just up your platform to AM5. That's what I would tell you to do. But unfortunately, we all know that we're in this RAM crisis, which means that I can't, because I'm telling you not to go out and buy RAM. Regardless, don't buy new RAM. Fuck them. Let them put their fucking prices up to fucking whatever you want. We're not buying it at that price. Stop fucking advertising it. You may as well just put it as out of stock, because I'm not buying it at that price. So you can go do one. It's a marketing exercise. They're seeing how far they can push it. Don't let them. That highest marked price that you're willing to pay, because that's what they'll choose to take it back down to. So just don't buy RAM. So like at the moment, obviously RAM is a problem. So stepping up to AM5 for a lot of people from AM4 is not a viable option. So they're looking at that 5700X 3D. And if they could get one for like 350 quid, that's 350 quid, and you're stepping up your gaming capability quite considerably, depending on what you're coming from. I mean, if you had a 5700X, I wouldn't recommend you get the 3D. I recommend you just wait until DRAM comes down in price and then step up to AM5. But if you want that step up in performance, for around 350 quid, enter the 12700KF. Because a 12700KF, brand new, if you want a new one, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend you do, they're 230 quid. So brand new, the CPU is 230 quid. A motherboard for said CPU, B760 right here. It's got decent M.2, it's got 3 M.2 support, and that's on DDR4. So that means that the memory on your AM4 platform can go with it. That's 100 quid. So for 330 quid, you could have a 12700K and the motherboard to play it on, and your storage and your DDR4 and everything from AM4 is going to swap over. And this is the bit that I'm going to get hate for because it's a fucking Intel CPU. But at the end of the day, yeah, whether you want to admit it or not, all those fanboys out there, yeah, in gaming, just gaming, the 12700K and the 5700X3D are like this. They're almost fucking identical. They're literally almost identical. These two both nip at the heels of the 7700X. They do. They're right there. They're right nipping at the heels. They're sometimes ahead of it. They're sometimes behind it. And these two CPUs are almost freaking identical. I mean, this is Spider-Man remastered. The Intel wins slightly. Forza likes itself some X3D, so you gain 5 FPS there at 132 instead of 127 on the Intel CPU. You've got Cyberpunk at 4K. There's 1 FPS between them. Cyberpunk at 1080p. There is 2 FPS between them. Far Cry 6. There's There's actually like 12 FPS for the Intel CPU. Battlefield 5, there's 3 FPS for the Intel CPU. So basically, these two CPUs, the 12700K and the 12700K and the 5700X 3D, in gaming, are like this. They're identical. They're almost a match for each other in gaming. Let me just repeat, in gaming, because in any other task, the 12700K is 22% faster on single core performance and 30% faster on multi-core performance. So it is a much stronger CPU and an all-rounder, and it games exactly the same. So that's just the CPU in this argument. So remember, you can buy a 12700K and its motherboard for the same money as one 5700X 3D. Now, that's if you're looking at it brand new, 230 quid for a brand new one. Now, if you go on to CEX in the UK, remember, 5-year warranty. And the advantage with warranty in CEX is you just take it in, they declare it's broken, they either give you a replacement or they give you credit note, the value of the product at the given moment that you brought it in. And it means the value that they sell it for, not the value that they would give you in trade-in vouchers. It's whatever the value of that product is when you return it, that is what they'll give you in credit note. Then you can just go grab something else. However, the 12700KF in CEX is 150 quid. So if we're going down the used market, because we would be with this, and you can argue that because this is marked up at 250 quid, it's available at 250 quid. Well, if you buy a used 12700K and that brand new motherboard, you're paying 250 quid. And you will be getting the exact same gaming performance as the 5700X 3D, but in every other single way, the CPU is massively faster. And that's just the start of it. Because not only does that 12700K bring you basically more performance in everything else, and I'm telling you, that X3D cache is friggin' awesome. I mean, it stepped that 5700X up to the 12700K. It literally filled that gap. It's doing some work. For it to be 22% slower on single core and 30% slower on multi-core, but exactly the same in gaming. That kind of shows what that 3D V-Cache is really doing. And I'm impressed. Like, that's impressive stuff. But at the end of the day, for 250 quid, you can literally have a 12700 KF and a motherboard to run it on. Everything else you've got will pass over. And not only is the CPU stronger in every other way, it's exactly the same in gaming, so you don't lose anything out there. It's stronger everywhere else, so you gain everything else. And the platform itself brings its own advantages. Because even on the DDR4 platform, that top, because I'm on DDR4 right here with this 12900K. It is a Z690 board, but regardless of the matter, that top slot, that top GPU slot on all of 12th gen's motherboards is PCIe Gen 5. So not only do you spend the same money on the CPU and motherboard that you would on a 5700X3D for just the CPU, and because you've managed to fit the motherboard into the equation, it means that there's no real difference to you in terms of what gets used. So yeah, you're buying just the CPU, you could swap it over no problem with the 5700X3D because you're on AM4, you've got DDR4, or yada yada yada, you've got your storage and that yada yada yada. Well, if you can buy the CPU and the motherboard for the 12th gen for the same money, then you're not. Everything else will go with you. Your DDR4 will go onto that board. It'll be no problems. Intel's actually a bit more stable when it comes to memory, and your storage will move over. The only thing you would be changing is the CPU and the motherboard. And I can almost guarantee that your cooler's you've probably got the mounting hardware for the Intel socket for your CPU cooler somewhere. So, like, in general, for me, I can't see how buying a 5700X3D is a viable option, even if you're on AM4, when you can buy a platform that is more advanced because of PCIe Gen 5 and has that, and so it's got a little bit more future in it, because basically those Gen 5 GPUs, they're not going to be choked in any way, shape or form on the 12th gen, but theoretically are on the AM4 platform. So, and like I said, I know a lot of you are not going to like to hear it, and I genuinely think that the X3D cache is a freaking awesome thing. Like, and as I started this video, I would, without the RAM crisis, I would recommend you go to AM5. But I can promise you now that being on DDR4, keeping your memory that you've already got from your AM4 rig, 12th gen Intel and the LGA 1700 socket is the closest to AM5 that you'll get, and the most advanced forwards in terms of technology that DDR4 will go to. So for me, like 250 quid for a motherboard and a CPU to have such a big step up. Like, say you're on a 5600, right? If you're on a 5600X right now, right, in single core performance, very much like the 5700X3D, the Intel 12700K is 20-ish% faster. In fact, the 5600X3D is only 18% slower in single core. But in multi-core, it is 42% slower. So it's almost half the CPU. So it is a massive step up in performance, and any gaming performance that you aim to gain by stepping up to a 5700X3D, you would gain that exact amount of performance stepping over to a 12700K. Now, I'm not favoring one manufacturer over the other. I am literally just saying that at this precise moment, if you need a gap fill, you're waiting to be able to go to AM5, and you want something to just boost your performance for the next couple of years, and you don't want to spend more than like 250, 300 quid, and you're already on AM4, 12700K. It's a 12700K. That is your best option. You will be able to buy a motherboard and the CPU for the same money you'd pay for the friggin' 5700X 3D, like, and everything else would move over. Now, I would just tell you to just go get a 5700X or 5800X and just, or just, you know, like, just out the platform, or just not spend any more money on that platform and wait. If you think that your platform will be able to carry you through, go ahead. But if you want that little increase in performance, and you're looking at a 5700X 3D, licking your lips, just don't do it. The 12700K is a better CPU in every way. The platform is better, even with the DDR4. You're still getting that PCIe Gen 5 lane, 6x16 for the GPU on the top slot, which means that you can put any GPU into there moving forwards. They're all going to be PCIe Gen 5 moving forwards, and we're going to reach that point like we did with finally did with PCIe Gen 3. We will reach that point where it's going to be a little bit of an impact being on Gen 4. And like the advantage you've got with Intel is everything from that generation will have the same PCIe. So like the 12100s got PCIe Gen 5, same as the top end. And I know that tends to not always happen with AMD. Or is it the 5500 and lower is a PCIe Gen 3? I'm not even going to ask why. That's just an AMD thing. Splitting their generation up. They take things off the lower end chips. But either way, right? If you were on a 5500 or a 5600 and you're licking your lips at a 5700X 3D, you should not buy that CPU. Like, I think the X3D cache is freaking awesome, but that CPU it's just not worth the money that it's priced at. Like I said, even if you get one, even if you can find one for 250 quid in the UK right now, you can literally buy straight up. It's available. You don't even have to hunt for it. You just go CEX, buy it online. It'll get delivered to your door. You go CCL, boom, delivered to your door. Right? There's no stress. It's available. It's just there. You don't have to hunt for it, and it's the same money. Like, you would pay 250 quid for the CPU and the motherboard, or 250 quid for the 5700X 3D, and the 12700KF is a better CPU. It's faster at multi-core, it's faster at single core, and they gain the same. Like, so also its platform comes along with PCIe Gen 5, even if you're on DDR4. If you go with a DDR4 motherboard, everything else from your AM4 platform will just pass over. So for me, that is what I would recommend. If you're looking at a 5700X 3D, you're thinking about it, just get a 12700K and a motherboard. Like, the same money, better performance. I know it's a bit of a shitter. I know that AMD fanboys are going to hate me for this. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate. I don't care. It doesn't change the facts, does it? So that's my recommendation. If you want to step up, if you're on AM4 and you want to step up your platform, you can't do anything about it because of RAM at the minute, and you don't want to spend more than 250, 300 quid, 330 quid. So brand new, you could literally step up your platform brand new to a 12700KF and that motherboard for 330 quid. Or you could save yourself some money, get your CPU from CEX, and it's 250 quid. So the choice is yours. And I think that stepping up to a 12700KF from, say, like I said, say from like a 5500 or a 5600 or something, is a huge step up. It's a huge step up in gaming and general CPU performance. And the platform. The platform is faster and better. If you're on a 5500, it's insane, because you'd be stepping up from PCIe Gen 3 to PCIe Gen 5. So, like, that's a big step up in itself. So, that's my recommendation. I know you're not going to like it, but it is what it is. And just quickly, before anyone tries saying it, no, 12th gen does not have any degradation issues. That's exactly why I recommend 12th and not 13th and 14th, especially seeing as we were also looking at used prices. I would not recommend anyone buy a used 13th or 14th gen chip. New ones, you're probably okay with, but I would just stay away from those platforms. So the fact of the matter is there's not that much of a step up over 12th, and 12th gen just doesn't have any of those degradation issues. I've got a 12900KS. It literally runs a 330 watt BIOS. Everything is unlocked, and I keep it overclocked constantly. So if there was going to be degradation on 12th gen, I'd see it first. There is zero degradation issues with the 12th gen. It managed to skip it completely. 13th and 14th, I personally wouldn't recommend, and I'm only recommending the 12700K because of literally the budget. If you're on a 11th, 10th gen or an AM4 platform or anything previous of that, for 250 quid, if you've already got DDR4 and you've already got storage and stuff, for 250 quid, 12700K and a motherboard is just literally the chef's kiss, whether you like it or not. And I know all those AMD fanboys are going to hate it, but the fact of the matter is, if you're really a tech enthusiast, you chase the price to the value to performance. You chase the price to performance. You go with whatever's the best option at that given moment in time. And if you need a platform that is a step up, that has a bit more forward thinking in its technology, and you just want it as like a little bump in performance to last you through the next year or so, till all this RAM situation has died down, there isn't a better option, guys. There just isn't. Sorry to say. All right. Anyways, guys. So hopefully you don't get too salty about it, because it is what it is. But if you completely disagree with my decision and you think I'm wrong for some reason or other, please feel free to pipe up down below. Feel free to let me know. Let me know why spending the same money for more performance on a more future focused platform. When I say future focused, I don't mean that it's got more CPUs coming to it. Neither of them. They're both dead platforms. Like, you can say these X3D chips and stuff are just how AM4 is not dead, but it is a dead platform, whether you like it or not. Like, the X3D chips going to AM4 are just X3D cache that didn't quite cut the mustard for AMD to put it on the AM5 chips, and they found a way to basically duct tape it to the AM4 chips that they had stock left of. It's AMD being innovative, and I commend them for that. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the CPUs as they are, the X3D CPUs. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think the X3D cache is freaking awesome. But for 250 quid, if you're already on AM4 or you're already on an earlier 10th or 11th gen Intel or whatever, a 12700KF and a motherboard for 250 quid is literally the best option for you. Like, it's the best option. It's going to give you the best performance upgrade for the money you're spending, and it's going to refresh your platform so that it's PCIe Gen 5. And like I said, if you're on a 5500 or below, you're on PCIe Gen 3 anyway. So that would step you up 2 generations on the PCIe slot, which is friggin' awesome. So, like I said, if you disagree with me, which is fine, opinions are like G-spots. Every got one. So I will see you in the next one anyway, guys. Let me know. Let me know how wrong I am, please. Tell me why. Tell me why I'm wrong. Explain to me why spending the same money for more performance and a more recent platform with a little bit more future in it, because obviously PCIe Gen 5 on the top slot, even on the DDR4 boards, still PCIe Gen 5 on that GPU slot. So over to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you in the next one. I've got to go cook food for my boys. It's getting on a little bit, and I need to cook them tea. So I'll see you in the next one. Well, I'll be back. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share.
Like and subscribe. Thank you.